as a therapist, one of the things that I would love to do is in one of my sessions, I would invite the young walker to bring along your fire set and show me your fire making skill. And so this one young man brought his fire set, and he started putting it together and going through the actions of making fire, and his form was pretty good. And his materials were okay. His spindle was nice and straight, and he had all of his things kind of set up. But he couldn't get it to work for some reason. And he tried and tried and tried. And I asked him this question: what do you think this means? What do you think this means? What's the non-physical lesson that you can learn from this experience of not making fire, of trying really hard to make fire? And he made some suggestions, and I said, can I share with you an awakening that I've had about my fire set, about making fire, because I've had a similar experience as you. Sometimes it's easier for me to make fire, and sometimes it's a lot more difficult. And I said, something that I've noticed is that my fire set, each part of my fire set represents a certain part of my life. And I talked to him about all of the things that fire gives us. Fire gives us heat, to warmth. It keeps us warm. It helps us cook our food. Helps us stay safe. It gives us a gathering place, a belonging place. It even can entertain us. And for all of those things that we gain from fire in the physical world, there's the non-physical parts of that too. There's the non-physical warmth. There's that gathering place that's more a spiritual sense of gathering. And for each of us, so many things that we do in our lives are an attempt to create that spark, to get access to things that keep us safe and have that belonging and all of those things. And the work that we do is toward that end, to getting access to that spark, right? And so I told him that each part of my fire set represents something that helps me get that in the non-physical way. This part of my fire set represents my relationship with my family. This part of my fire set represents my relationship with my Creator. And I went through all the different pieces of the fire set, that this is an awakening that I've had. So I want you to try to discover what it means for you, what each part of your fire set represents, what in your life is going to help you get access to that spark, right? And so I sort of leave him with that assignment. I said, I want you to sort of consider that. Practice making fire this week, and consider what each of your parts of your fire set represents. What is it in your life that's going to help you gain access to them? And by the time the next week rolled around, and I sat with him, he brought his fire set again to our session. And he started to describe how he had been trying to make fire in the non-physical sense. He said, when I was at home, I was trying to make fire, was trying to get that feeling. And the substance abuse was part of his struggle. And he said, for me, trying to get that spark at home was like trying to make fire with a wet fireboard. I tried and I tried and I tried, and all those things were right. But as long as I was doing that, it was never going to make fire, no matter how hard I worked at it. And so he started to sort of fine-tune those things, and he got his fire set out, and he actually had them labeled. He had written on each piece of his fire set what each of those things represented for him. And that's a thing that sort of stuck with him. And it's something that I never could have lectured him on or taught him about. It's something that he had to discover for himself. Because there were things that I could have tried to teach him about that, but only by having that journey for himself. His answers were far better than mine ever could have been, through making that discovery for himself.